All right.
Spencer, take it away.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Spencer. I'm the founder of PRC Manpower, introducing the latest technology in man-powered bikes. Let's hear it for the old ways, right? No, okay. This here is my mini bike. It's electric, and I wasn't allowed to bring the battery in here, unfortunately, but I got most of the product here. The reason I took it today is because it's convenient, it's lightweight, and it's easy to use, and I was running late, so I needed something that could go 80 miles an hour. So I took my mini bike. My mini bike also gets a lot of questions and attention, and the second time that my entrepreneurial endeavors attracted the attentive prowess of law enforcement, the first question I was surprised to hear was, what kind of gas mileage do I get? Now, the more studious in the room have likely realized that my bike is electric powered and doesn't need any gas, but it cost me about 24 cents to fill up the tank, which 24 cents is a lot to a college student like me, so I can use public outlets with my charger, like the meat fridge in Chick-fil-A doesn't always need to be plugged in. A little more on me. I am a helicopter pilot studying rotorcraft aviation at UND. I have been interested in RC vehicles, riding my mountain bike and playing my guitar all the time whenever I'm not flying, but RC vehicles kind of stood out to me because of such an immense amount of power that gets put out of such a small thing. And I wondered if I could ever ride on something similar to that. So I got a job at my hobby store back home, and then a job up here at a go-kart track where I learned about how to work on motors, batteries, and controllers, and those are the skills I used to build my prototype. Now, the build didn't start as a prototype. This started as something fun, and the only reason I built this was because no one else had, and I figured if I built something so ridiculously fun and powerful in such a small size, I might be able to twist that negative connotation surrounding electric vehicles. And whenever I'd go out riding, people would stop and ask me a few questions. What the heck are you riding, and how can I get one? But there were more. How fast, how far, and how much? So to answer those, here's some specs on my products. Before I move on, I want to give you guys a piece of advice. That top bike you see right there is my first prototype of an electric vehicle, which resembles a bomb if you look closely. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm not allowed to bring my battery in here today. So make sure you don't bite yourself in the foot after your first build. But anyways, my bike goes about 80 miles an hour, it gets about 40 miles of range, and it cost me about $3,000 to build. Now, if you've ever ridden a 46 horsepower mini bike, you probably know that it takes a little bit more respect to hop on it than you might think at first. So for my production bikes, I'm going to be knocking the power down just a little bit to keep people alive, as well as I'm going to have programmable settings for controllers so that you can program your top speed, your torque, and your acceleration from your phone on the go. So you can cruise with the family or go smoke race cars out on the street. Now, I love humbling sports car owners and racing people for money because that's my main source of income right now. But I also love cruising around nice and slow through the bike lanes and the sidewalks and the streets sometimes. But there's problems. People aren't inclined to go out and explore like I do on this thing for a couple of reasons. One is a lack of freedom. Now, I talked to a bunch of people through my customer discovery and found out a bunch of different things, but the big ones were people lack the freedom to go out and explore without realizing being bound by the guilt of buying unnecessary gas just to cruise around for fun, or the unnecessary maintenance to the car or motorcycle or whatever. And people are bound by this guilt, and it takes them from a place of wanting to go out to not wanting to go out, and they sit inside and watch TV. So they drive a boring car to a boring job and watch some boring TV shows, and I think I might be able to help with that. Now, another big thing is the escape from everyday life. There's so much that just happens as a routine that you get into, and this is something that breaks that routine and gets you out doing something different. So I heard lots of grumbles about high gas prices, poor fuel economy, all the normal things, but those two problems, the freedom and the escape from the monotony of everyday life, are the problems that Pizza Racing Company aims to solve. What's my market? Right now, current market, we have e-bikes that are frankly pretty slow and motorcycles that are rather expensive. And it's tough to get into either of those fields because if you want to go an e-bike route and you want speed, it's not going to work. And if you want a motorcycle but don't want to pay for it, you're also probably up a creek without a paddle. So for me, my goals, I like a shop space. Right now I'm working out of my apartment. Unfortunately, my roommates have imposed unreasonable regulations such as no angle grinding in the bathtub, and pots and pans are not to be used as hammers. I'd also like a pre-built stock of bikes, ready to go, ready to be ordered from your computer, shipped from my warehouse, which will be my shop space, that's not an apartment. And then I'd also like to begin experimenting with full-size motorcycles for those people really into something super powerful. For this, I need a couple of resources, and that's meeting people, as well as some money, because as 24 cents is hard to come by, $8,500 is also hard to come by around my apartment, and fabrication expertise. So if anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, or would like to help out, learn more, or see me do a completely legal pull on this thing outside, come talk to me afterwards. Thank you guys for your time.